Now, first of all, very quickly, James, what is a sales qualified lead?
So a sales qualified lead, also known as a SQL, is where you're nurturing the lead that little bit more. It's not a cold web lead. Some
Hmm.
people call it hot leads. So prime example could be that, let's say you are a mortgage broker. Someone comes through on a cold web lead saying, I'm looking for a mortgage. Well, you need to know certain information like, okay, what size of mortgage do they want? Are they working at present? And there's certain parameters in place that lets them know whether it fits or whether they don't fit. So, prime example, if they're not working and they want a £500,000 mortgage, there's no point in even sending it to the mortgage broker. They're not going to get a mortgage.
Hmm.
So, what you're doing, it's not just generating an inquiry or a lead. A sales qualified lead is exactly that. You are qualifying the lead before you're giving it to the salesperson.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and then so many people now are starting to ask for SQLs. So many people are wanting to do that lead nurturing. And there's so many different ways now that you can do it with regards to multi-step forms, with regards to AI, with regards to different blog posts, top of the funnel, and you're working them down. There's so many different ways of how now you can nurture those leads into being SQLs.
Yeah, so we'll obviously list a few different methods that you can actually use to turn just web cold leads into actual SQLs. But what a few things I'll just rattle off a list, right? So you can do like video sales letters. So if you are running Facebook ads, for example, and you are selling something that's high ticket, high valuation, it's going to be very hard to get somebody off of Facebook to then be able to trust you to then spend £5,000 with you, for example. So in that case, you might decide to actually run a video sales letter or a VSL. And at that point in the VSL, you're basically like listing pain points, why they should actually invest that money with you, what they're actually going to get. They're then turning from just a random person off of Facebook into somebody that's actually interested to actually somebody that might actually purchase from you. So that's one way of doing it. A multi-step form. So obviously James mentioned before, but instead of just asking for name, email, telephone number, and inquiry, you can ask certain questions. Like for example, when are you looking to get this job or service done? Is it within the next 2 to 3 days? Is it within the next 5 months? Is it within the next 2 years? Because if somebody's actually just putting in within the next 2 years, they're probably not that interested. So you might decide to not spend as much time trying to nurture that lead just yet. There's other questions that you can actually ask as well. Like, for example, if you are a service based company, and let's say you do solar panels, you might actually have as a question on your contact form, have you already got a grant, for example? Because there's if somebody's already got their grant, they just want a quote and they're probably ready to purchase. Um, you mentioned with AI, there's more and more websites that actually use AI chatbots. So I was having an issue with hosting a couple days ago, and I went on a website and they actually tried to upsell me like a service. So you've got different methods like that that you can do with chatbots. Another thing as well, which is a little bit more of a manual process, is the actual email. So okay, they've inquired with you, try and have that human touch before they go to a salesperson. Like if you need more information, if you need images from the actual person, you can ask for those images prior to them going through to your actual sales team. Is there
Yeah, for
anything else?
sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, probably the easiest way of explaining it is over at fatrank.com, we provide a lot of SQLs. So we do a lot of sales qualified leads. The
Hmm.
last thing I want to do is get a business owner or someone who's very high level, could be a salesperson on £50,000 a year, dealing with leads that aren't going to convert. But also within FatRank, we need to pre-qualify business owners to whether we're going to generate leads for them. Because so I'll give you the example of what we do. We need generally businesses that work nationwide in the UK. We don't want to deal with small plumbing companies that only deal within 10 miles of where they live. And only because we've grown and we've got our overheads, we need to deal with bigger companies. So if you're a small local business, at that point, I do not want you to put you in touch with our main salespeople. What I then want to do is I want to pre-qualify it. This doesn't fit our model. And then what we then go and do is we then go and put them onto somebody else who gives them an audit explaining why they don't fit, but what their best next steps are. Initially, we used to go, sorry, you don't qualify.
Mhm.
And then we started getting some negative feedback, like I've just filled you information saying we don't qualify. Why? So I was thinking, actually, do you know what? I do need to explain a little bit more of the why. So a cold web lead comes in, every business owner wants more leads. Every business owner, obviously, of course they do, because everything flows downstream after lead generation. You want to be generating more leads to become oversubscribed so you can start raising your prices. You can stop working with those nightmare clients that might not be paying the bills or paying it late or demanding lower prices. You can get rid of them with the Pareto Law 80-20 rule, and you can up your prices. So everyone wants more inquiries. But for us, because we get inundated with people wanting more leads, our sales qualified lead setup would be nurturing them to see whether they qualify for us, and then seeing have they got a professional email. Do they have testimonials online? Do they have case studies online? Would I place an order with that company? Because if I wouldn't place an order with that company, well, majority of the customers probably wouldn't place an order with that company and they go elsewhere. So if I'm going to generate them good quality leads, but they're not good at converting, it's going to affect us, and they're going to think it's the quality of the leads, not them converting. So there's lots of different nuances of what we do where we pre-qualify and do sales qualified leads for Fat Rank internally as well.
Yeah, not only that as well is if you are getting unqualified leads going straight to your sales team or your salesperson, that salesperson's going to get demotivated very, very quickly because again, a lot of businesses, they have their salespeople on commission, and if they're having to fight through, let's say, 10 bad inquiries every single week, that's going to affect how much money that they're going to actually earn at the end of the month as well in commission. So again, by having unqualified leads, it can actually be a detriment to your actual business as well, apart from just wasting money on actual marketing, but it can actually impact your sales team or your salesperson as well.
Yeah.
But that has been our video on how to increase sales qualified leads. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. We might actually even do a follow-up because there's different marketing strategies as well on how to get the highest qualified leads as well. But any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And as always, check out fatrank.com if you want sales qualified leads for your business.